welcome to my channel SG10. Today I am going to read the story Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. First, let me talk about the history of the author. Charles Dickens was born in 1812. When he was 12 years old, his father, a clerk, was imprisoned for debt and Charles was forced to work in a warehouse. These experiences affected him deeply, and many of the stories and books he later wrote are concerned with the hardships suffered by the poor in Victorian England. Now, let us read the story. Chapter 1. Oliver's Early Life. In the first half of the 19th century, there existed in most English towns a grim building known as the workhouse. This was where the parish authorities sent the aged, the homeless, and the poor, who could not work and had nowhere else to go. It was in the workhouse that Oliver Twist was born. Oliver's mother, a beautiful young woman, had been found lying in the street the night before. No one knew who she was, and she died within minutes of giving birth. Oliver Twist was given his unusual name by Mr. Bumble, the parish official in charge of the workhouse. At the age of 10 months, Oliver was sent out to a branch workhouse to be brought up by the elderly Mrs. Mann. She looked after 20 or 30 poor orphans for a small weekly fee paid by the parish. Mrs. Mann used most of this money for herself and very little to feed and clothe the children. Consequently, Oliver, like all his comrades, grew into a small, pale, thin child. When Oliver was 9, Mr. Bumble came to bring him back to the workhouse so that he could be taught a trade with other boys his age. As miserable as Oliver had been whistled at Mrs. Mann's, he was even more unhappy at the workhouse. He missed the friends he had grown up with, and he was hungrier than he had ever been. All the boys were ever fed was grill. One evening, Oliver thought he would go mad with hunger. He had finished his allotted bowl of grill and still felt a ragging emptiness inside him. Desperately, with his bowl and spoon in hand, he approached the master of the workhouse. "Please, sir," said Oliver, "I want some more." The master was stupefied. No one had ever dared to ask for more. "What?" he roared. "Please, sir," Oliver repeated quietly. "I want some more." Enraged, the master struck Oliver on the head and locked him up in a dank and dismal cell. He remained there for weeks. Rescue from this wretched existence came in the form of Mr. Sowerberry, an undertaker who took Oliver as an apprentice. At the Sowerberrys, Oliver was fed table scraps and had to sleep among the coffins. Still, he didn't complain. But one day he got into a fight with Mr. Sowerberry's solely assistant. Mr. Sowerberry was so angry that he threatened to send Oliver back to the workhouse. Oliver was terrified. He couldn't bear the thought of returning to the workhouse. So, he decided to run away. That is all in the chapter 1. Chapter 2 will continue in the next video. Thank you.